I went over to the tech side about a year and a half ago. I was recruited to a company in New York who was acquired by Zillow, and then I was recruited to this company because I am a broker as well and have a little experience in the industry. Former board president of your area, so I have really good relationships with a lot of your leadership and good brokers. And I know everybody except apparently NFL players. I insulted 2 of them last night. And Sandy didn't say a word as I was doing it. We were talking about the app in the presentation, and I wasn't even going to throw us under the bus for being up till 3 a.m., but I will now. We were out last night at a work function, and when I got into the vehicle to take us to that function, there are 2 gentlemen in the vehicle. Most of us are in real estate, so I know most of us. There are about 5 people I don't know in the vehicle. And so this guy, Sandy says, "We're so excited to have you." I didn't see Sandy. I was like, "Oh my goodness, hi. I finally get to meet your team. This is fantastic. I'm looking forward to tomorrow morning." And the gentleman talks to me. He says, "So what do you do?" And I said, "I represent HomeSnap, blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Really? So can I get that app?" I said, "Are you a realtor?" He goes, "No, I'm not." I said, "No, you can't. You can have the public version, but you can't be a pro. Sorry." So it was really funny. We go on. Coincidentally, my son is a wide receiver in football, so it makes the story worse. And so Michelle Raines asked me about my son, and so we're talking about football and all that stuff, and this guy perks up, and he's like, "So your son's a wide receiver?" I'm like, "Yeah, but you know, he's my size, so he needs to really think about his career. You know, because have you seen those guys in the NFL? They're huge. My son's gonna get killed." He's like, I'm like, "Run, Nitty, run!" And he's like, "Really? So size, huh?" I'm like, "Yeah, you know, have you seen those guys in the NFL?" Hi, it's Gary Clark. I have no idea, okay? I have no clue. He never says, "I'm Gary Clark." I never reveals who he is.
Did you say who?
No, I didn't even, yeah. I mean, he obviously knew. I was totally oblivious. So we go on, and finally about an hour and a half into this, I realized it's Gary Clark. That I've just not only insulted, I've asked him if he's a realtor, and I've basically told him he's too small for the NFL. All in one shot. So that was fun. It was classic. It was great, only me. So anyway, I have no shame regarding that, but that's okay. So have you downloaded HomeSnap for the realtors in this room? Do you have it?
Did everybody put it on their phone?
No. Okay.
Not pull out your phone.
It's okay. If you can pull out your phone really quickly. If you have an iPhone, you're going to go into the app store, the Apple iTunes store, and just type in HomeSnap. We only have one app, by the way. Whether you're a consumer or a real pro, we've got one platform. And if you have a Droid, you're going into Google Play. So that's where you're going to download it. And I'll walk you through that really, really quickly, just so that you're not doing that while I'm showing you all the cool features. The thing is, if you get a text message or a call in the middle of your information that you're into, do not worry, the app does not close out. So you can do multiple things and it constantly stays where you were. So that's important to know. I don't know why you'd log out, but you might, but I'll show you where that is. Yeah, you can't find it. So again, if you're logging in from another device, you're just entering your information, which I have to do so I can show you this. No, it's not even letting me download that. It just goes to the search button. And immediately, as soon as it opens, when you log in, it locates you. So wherever you are, it's going to tell you where you are. So it's trying to locate me right this second. It's finding me. This is also very helpful when you get to the property lines, when we discuss in a little bit. If you're trying to find property lines or the boundaries of a property, this is a great tool for that. You can have phone in hand and actually walk property line boundaries in this app. So it's pretty cool. Again, you and your consumer are looking at the same exact thing. The only thing is you have some superpowers that your consumer does not, but we use the same exact platform, and you'll know you're logged in as an agent because you will see an agent tab. Now we're looking at this from the iPhone version. The Droid appears just a little bit different, but you'll know immediately because you have an agents tab and they do not. They have 3 tabs at the bottom. So you're looking again at the same exact
Where do
platform.
I find that at?
So you're going in your drop down menu.
See, right now, you gotta go to, you have a Droid, yours looks different.
I
Yeah,
know.
yours is going to look a little bit different.
All right, I got Homes, News, Me, Notification.
Yes. So you're going into the Homes tab.
That's where it says on that.
Okay. You're just stay right there for 1 second. So we're going to walk through from there. All right. So immediately you've got your map. I've got to zoom out because it's telling me I'm in a commercial space. So you may have that as well. We are best known for walking up to any home in the United States, snapping a photo, and you'll get all the information about that house. That is what we're known for. On the Pro version, we started as a consumer app in 2008. We started developing the Pro version 2 years ago. Using our app and so many other cool tools. Why do you use us? An agent said, we like to use you because we beat our consumer in Zillow and Trulia. When we can snap on a house and it can give us information like that, we beat our consumers. So that led us down the rabbit hole and we started to develop a Pro version. DC MRIS partnership is our first MLS partnership, so we're the launch area. So it's pretty nice because that's my home territory as well, and yours. So when you're in a search for a home, you can snap the home. Again, what we're best known for, and that's in the camera feature. In the phone, it looks like a camera. If you click on it, it will open up to snap a home. You can search for it by area. The search bar, you can give MRIS the MLS number, or you can give address or just area. So there's lots of ways to use HomeSnap beyond snapping a home. Once you do that, you'll start to see, you can play with your map. Everything in the app is very user-friendly and interactive. You're going to see that as we go through. But right this second, if I were with a buyer, let's say I'm going to take you into a pretend scenario. We're out and the buyer says to me, what's going on with this house? It might have a sign, may not have a sign. And I say to them, well, I'm pretending to snap the picture, by the way. I'm snapping the picture, and after I do it, it brings up all of the information about the home. All of the pages that we're about to see have the same layout, so you're not, anything that, once you get used to looking at the page views, it will be transitional between wherever you are. You'll expect to find property information in the same exact spaces. Again, your consumer is looking at the same exact thing that we're looking at right this second. There's a few fields that they won't see, and they're in yellow, they're highlighted in yellow. But for the most part, for all intents and purposes, we're all looking at the same thing right this second.
When you take the picture, what do you have to make sure you capture so it recognizes it?
You don't. It can be a picture in fog. You're going to see my horrible photo that I took the other night of a home for sale in Annapolis. It does. There are 7 locators in your phone, and we use all 7 of them. We've patented a way to figure out which way you're holding your phone and the direction you're holding it. So you don't need to worry about capturing the address. You don't even need to worry about capturing the whole entire phone. The whole entire home. So if your phone is confused as to what address, it'll tell you, I need to know, are you at this address or this address? But it's pretty accurate. It will get a little confused if you're driving in your vehicle, by the way. If you're driving in your car and you're trying to snap a home, there's a lot of metal in your car, so sometimes it gets very confused. Your compass in your phone gets thrown off by all the metal. So you might have to slow down and stick your arm out the window entirely. Not that you would do this and drive at the same time, but if you do, that's the way to do it. So we're at the property. Got my buyer with me. What about this home? So right away, we've either searched it or we've snapped it. We know it's for sale and we know the price of it. We have photos, so these are the consumery things that they like. So they're probably going to look at the photos while you're standing there. We could be standing next to each other and looking at this information. All of the photos are very interactive, so you can click on them, you can expand them, you can see countertops, all that good stuff, flooring. We come a little bit further down, we get a description of the home. It's for sale, how many bedrooms, how many baths, what year was it built. This is a really, really, really cool feature, the rapid CMA, but we're gonna come back to that because in this scenario, now we're just standing in front of the home and we wanna know about it. At this juncture, you could favorite this home, you could send a comment about it, recommend it out, you can share it. So right from here, if you do any of those things, we auto-populate the address for you. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff. It's smart enough to say, hey, I'm talking about this particular home. We give you all property history. After that, again, this is something a consumer can see. How long has this property been on the market? Did it sell? Was it for sale? Right here is where you can hit notify me of price changes. It's really important because instead of having to continually update your own sphere with prices and things like that, you can hit that button and it'll tell you any event change of that house at all. The next field is one of your superpowers. This is the one that's garnered the most interest besides snapping the photo of the home, because this is where we check out our competitors contiguously. So we have any related information to this transaction right here. And again, your consumer cannot see this, only you can see this. This particular person is the listing agent. If they were the showing contact, we would tell you right then and there that that's the showing contact as well. We have an integration coming in with showing time. It's very close to being complete. So you'll be able to just click the button right here and schedule the appointment if it's showing time.
How come we're not doing CSS? Why are we doing the showing time? Everybody, like 90% of the agents do CSS.
Now they're doing showing time now.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable how many people probably cheaper.
MRS signed a partnership with Showing Time. So the Showing Time is an online service, and I really can't speak to why people choose one or the other. It's just included with your MRS membership.
Is there
Right, why didn't you
a
see
possibility I'm not in here as an agent, that I somehow did it without, because I didn't log into my Maris, and I'm not getting what you're getting?
Yes,
on
then
the
you're
related
only in the
fee.
consumer version.
Okay, so
Consumer.
how do I go back and get in there as an agent?
Okay, so you're gonna log out. I'll come over to you in 1
Okay,
second. Let me just
okay,
get through
okay,
this
that's-
and then,
thank you.
okay. Anybody else over here? Okay, yes.
Rentals aren't on here, correct?
Not yet, they're coming. They have rentals are an interesting just from a tech side, just in case you're curious about this. Rentals are a very interesting feed. We have the information, but even Zillow themselves built a separate platform for rentals because the integration of showing a rental and a sale property is a very interesting thing from a technology standpoint. They're coming very, very soon. They're actually on the next development release. So
Okay,
you'll have.
basically it's just for sale, open houses, contract, and people that fill it.
Contingent, okay, I mean, it covers every,
Contract, okay.
right, any of those fields. And it's very, very soon that this will be Matrix Mobile in its entirety.
Okay.
Anything you can see in Matrix, they're all in development, different development stages.
Okay.
But that's the next one, yeah. So this is really going to be Matrix
Yeah,
Mobile on
because it's stuff where
steroids.
consumers can get to stuff faster than.
So, let's,
Well, I kind of have to make
it happens a lot, and it's usually misinformation. It's very frustrating as a professional. I love when I'm standing there and the buyer is telling me more about the property
Yeah.
than the agent, and I'm logging into Matrix in a panic. I don't like that scenario. That's why I took the job. So I really believe in this, and it's more accurate information in the sense of when we go back to the CMA, we get information from MRIS about every 2 minutes. So it's truly accurate information if you've got in here. All right, so to the agents, if I wanted to contact her for whatever reason, it is your phone, it should be usable, so I can call the agent from right here. I can text the agent, and the coolest part about this is as soon as I text that agent, it already refers the property for me. I don't need to say, this is what I'm talking
Oh, I
about.
love that too.
I can email this agent, same exact thing. If for some reason I'm not comfortable texting the agent, then I might email the agent about something, but you can all do it right from your app, right there. So we're coming down into the consumer field again. This is a consumer and agent shared field. This is the listing summary of the property in its entirety. So if the agent, because you guys are really squeezed for the remarks section and you have to make things really short, we spell them out so that it makes it very easy to read as a consumer. So we're giving you the summary of the listing itself. We have the MLS information, easy to click on if you need to copy it into your address book or wherever. The next field, if the listing summary remarks were the same as the agent remarks, a lot of times you copy and paste them in Keystone when you're entering it. If they're the same, you will not see a repeat of remarks. We're really big on just reading something once. We think you're intelligent enough that you don't have to decipher the same information. But if there's any change to those remarks in Keystone, in the entering, we will show you the confidential remarks that the agent put in here just for you. So now we're back into an agent field where we're going to show you commission. We're going to show you who the showing contact is. So here's your example CSS. I can call right from here. So I can call CSS. And then we're going to give you listing details. These are all the details out of Matrix that you entered into Keystone, everything about this house. We are not one to put, if it doesn't have a fireplace, you're not going to see fireplace in, pool in. If it has a fireplace, it's in here if you entered it. If it doesn't, it's not. So you don't have to read through all that. Here's where you have any kind of HOA. That's one of the hard things to find on a listing really quick. If somebody says to you, does this have an HOA, and you're trying to read it through, we spell all that out for you right here. In the next field, which is also a consumer field that they can see, and your Droid, just hang on if you can't click into this yet, because Droid has not updated its school information for our version yet. You'll see it, but you can't click into it if you're using Droid right this second. We provide all the school information, whether the agent entered it in or not. So we're going to tell you what school it services, what the score is. You can click on all of these. We give you all generic information. You get asked about how many students, what's the ratio, and we're always afraid to answer those questions. We've got that all for you right here. The other really cool thing of that is when someone asks you how many homes are for sale or can you show me another house in the school zone, and then you're in Matrix drawing that polygon to God that you are in the correct street, because that's a fun thing to draw. We show you the attendance zone, and if you click into it, we're going to show you all the homes for sale within that attendance zone as well. This is very interactive. You can click on it. And all of these, when you click on any property in any of these views, again, you're going to see a very similar layout. You can do all the things that you can do in every other property page with those.
I apologize. How did you get into the school section again? I saw it down at the bottom.
Yeah.
How do you get into this field here?
I just clicked into it. So when you go back, when you're in the school, all of these things are clickable.
The droids are different.
The Droid, you're not going to be able to click through right this second. It's on the next release for you, but you're going to see it. Your iPad, yes. The iPad is my preferred way to look at this app. Don't tell my developers I said that. It looks the same, but it's nice and big, and I can tap on things. So when we come down a little bit further, now we're back at the main property page. We're going to show you the property lines. This is when I was telling you the blue dot is really helpful. We have an agent who really loves that blue dot and loves to follow these property lines. We provide not only the property line for the particular house that you're in, but every single home in the United States. So when you get into this, you are going to be able to see the property lines start to populate for every single home surrounding you. So that's your subject property screen where we were just looking. You can hit directions from there and it will provide directions if for some reason you needed directions. At the bottom after that, we're gonna tee up any similar listings that are on the market of like kind. We do that, by the way, by release. So if that was listed 2 minutes ago, that would be the top property. We do it by a combination of things that match the property you're looking at. Was something listed very recently to it? When were they listed? How far away are they? And the price. So we provide a nice little algorithm to that. And I will tell you, I would look at those. I had 100 beta agents who were testing this for me when I joined HomeSnap before the release. And I had a manager who does not do a whole lot of production anymore. He manages his office. And he had a good friend coming in and wanted to look at a property. And he wanted one of his agents to show it. And so he said, hey, you know what, we'll go to dinner. It's good to see you. I'll go to dinner with you and I'll show you the property. So he goes to the house and he remembers he's supposed to be testing this out for me and providing feedback. And he's standing at the house and he clicks a photo of it and he's waiting. And it starts downloading the information and he scrolls down, and as soon as he scrolls down into these preferred things, the very first thing that pops up is a similar home, and it says 50 yards away. And it's $60,000 less than the house he's sitting at. So he clicks on it, he's looking through it, he's like, wow, this looks actually better than the house I'm going to see. So he calls the agent, and the agent says to him, how on earth did you find my listing? And he said, I'm testing out this app, and it said this. She said, I entered into Keystone 7 minutes ago. You were the first person to see this home. I do have a lockbox on it. This is a true story. I do have a lockbox on it. You're more than welcome to look at it. Fine. So friend comes, they go into the first house, and he's like, what do you think? And he's like, well, it's okay. It didn't have something. I forget, honestly, what it didn't have. And he said, well, let's walk down. We're going to go 3 doors down, and I want to show you this house. And the guy's like, how in the heck did you know about this? And he's like, I'm testing out this app. He's so proud of himself. Never snapped a home before, but now all of a sudden he's testing the app. So he's testing the app. Guy goes in, puts in an offer, and actually buys the house. So they've settled. They settled last week. So it's a really good way to empower you back to your clients, to having more information than your clients. That's our whole job. That's my whole goal to train you. I want you to take your power back in this industry. Truly, I really feel that way. So don't discount the algorithm at the bottom is basically what I'm saying. You may find things that you actually don't have in hand. We also do that for sales. So nothing like walking out of a property that you just showed and the person wants to write an offer and they say to you, has anything recently sold? And you're like, oh, I've got to log into Matrix, this is going to be fun on my phone, you know, or we'll do it back in the office, or I'll spend 2 hours then putting out a CMA to you in the next 3 hours. So this is a really great way. This even tells you 280 yards away, this sold. We consider sold, active sold within the last 12 months. Anything older than 12 months goes into what we call historical listing information. So you'll have it, and you'll have access to it, but it won't be in the red or showing as a sold. And so that's pretty much it for your property pages. They all look the same, they all have a similar format, and you can click on any of them. When I was talking about sold or for sale, you can click on those, and they're all going to look the same as what we just looked at. So they all carry a very similar feel. The other thing is, see, we're going to go back to the CMA really quickly because that seems to be one of the things that agents love the most. Right this second, if you are a heavy listing agent or even a buyer's agent, we always get asked to create a CMA, or we're always asked opinions about property values and things like that. So right this second, when you get a call in the car, because we're mostly in the car, and someone says to you, hey, this is so-and-so, and I'm interested in listing my property, and you're in the car, not anywhere near your laptop, we normally put a nice little placeholder in, hey, thank you for calling me. So glad to hear from you. Looking forward to working with you. We might shoot them an email, but we don't have anything substantial to send to someone. Now you do. You can go into any property, whether it's on the market or not, any property whatsoever, whether it's been on the market or it's never been on the market, and you can hit Send CMA. At first, you might have information recently, you might be taking over a listing from an old listing agent or something like that. You might want to ask your listing lead, which I'm sure you do already, how many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, all that good information. You can make an adjustment to any of these fields using the plus sign if they tell you, hey, this is actually 4 bedrooms, not 2, whatever. So let's say, okay, we're gonna make an adjustment here. Well, this would be off the ML, well, it's not letting me because it's off the MRS right this second, so.
So it would
let's
be
say-
if you were in front of one that was listed.
No, you can, it's just not, let me go back. Of course, like I'm just totally frozen right this second, actually.
And then you can pick,
You can.
pick the ones you want to send them.
I just totally frozen.
But these are all active.
It does, they don't have to be active, it can be any property, period. It's just, you're just in a property page right this second, looking at property that's active.
I did the CMA as
I was
well.
doing the CMA, but I'm only getting active.
You have to pick, you'll say, wait a second, let's go through
So
it.
you pick the active and you pick the solid.
Correct. So I'm just gonna find it. All right. How did you get the CMA? Okay, so let's go back. All right. So at this point, once you hit into next step from that property picture, it's gonna give you 3 properties that were, it's gonna give you a list, but you choose 3 properties that are actively on the market. So let's say you don't know them, you can look into them, you're gonna see the property pages, you can look into them further. But if you are familiar with the property, you might be comfortable enough just checking those. We're gonna tee up then contracts and solds. So you could look at all of these, you could go into in depth, you could spend 3 minutes on this, you could spend 30. We're just teeing up property for you that's similar and like kind. When you get to this send information, if you do not enter someone in your recipient email address there, say you're not comfortable with this and you're not sure what this report is gonna look like, it will automatically send it to you. So you're already going to receive it. You have to personalize your CMA. What I tell people here all the time is if you have a standard set of lingo, you might want to just keep it in your notes section, go over, copy it, and paste it. Some people have theirs down. It's very short in their mind, looking forward to working with you, whatever. So let's say I'm typing my personalization in here. Apparently I can't spell, so not only do I not know NFL players, I can't spell either. Okay, and then you hit create. And in about 15 seconds, you're gonna create a 30 to 50 page PDF report. It is absolutely beautiful, actually. Wow. It's finalizing it now.
What did you do? You sent it to yourself?
I didn't send it to anyone. If you don't type anything in there, it'll send by default to you. But you have another option to share it in a second. There's a reason that we built it this way.
It says please enter a message.
That's your notes.
That's your message.
That's your message. Whatever it is, working
say
with
hi.
you. Please review and I'll call you in an hour. Whatever your message is to that particular person. You might have a standard template, so that's where you save it in your notes. So at this point, it's downloading. At the same time that it's downloading, it's sending it to you. So as soon as I can see it, I also have it in my email. So here's my rapid CMA. It is 51 pages in this particular scenario. It is a PDF, and it has the disclaimer, don't buy this house based on this information. And then it shows you the selected property, all of the information, all of the photos we have, the map of the properties that you just selected, where they are. When the person opens this in their email, they
This
can
is
also.
better than the one on the computer.
That's the point. Sure, I can keep my job another week now.
It limits you to 3 houses?
It limits you to 3 because this is 51 pages at 3 and 3 right this second. So it limits you to three actives and 3 solds.
And
So-
no under contract?
No, there's I chose a contract. So I'm considering sold in the sold section. If there's a contract
In other words, you
one,
only get
it
6
will
periods.
tee it up as well.
You just get
Yes.
6 periods.
Correct, correct, correct. That's your max. That's your max. Okay, we're actually gonna go back to that in 2 seconds. So anyway, at the very last page of your CMA, it gives you a range of value after it shows everything. The beauty of this particular thing is once the client opens it, they are in your corral. So they are corralled to you with HomeSnap. So that's pretty cool. If you like what you see here and you're comfortable with it, you have a second option to share it. You can share it message, mail, Google Books, print, or copy it right from here.
That's from the bottom, right there on the bottom.
That's from the bottom that says share.
I'm on board with
And then it happens. It happens all the time, so I'm kind of used to it. No, it's good. So I'm going to go to the invite clients feature really quick, and then that I'm finished.
Oh, good.
So
Or agent ID.
in your agent tab, in your me tab, you get into me, it shows you, and at that juncture is where you can do a few things. If you hit the gear button, you can update your information. If your information in here is an email from MRS, because it populates from MRS, but you actually don't use that email, update your email in here, because that's where your leads are going to go. If your phone number is, you're not happy with the phone number that you're showing, this is the place where you can update it. And so this is the place. The gear is also the place you'd log out. I don't know why you'd log out, but if for some reason you had the app and you're trying to identify your profile professionally, this is where you'd log out to do that. So it's under the Me tab. At the same tab, this big button right here is your invite clients. Initially, as soon as you hit that, it defaults to your clients in your address book. So it's going to be really funny because you're going to see all agents. I have all agents in my address book. So this tells me already that these are existing HomeSnap users, and they happen to be all agents in my address book anyway. But if I scroll down, I can start getting into clients, invite my clients. Like my dad, I'm so disappointed. My dad should have downloaded this. This is where I can get into inviting people into my address book who aren't existing HomeSnap users. If you have a very large client base and have a CSV file, for those of you who are really techie, I can have our tech team upload that CSV file for you.
You recommend inviting everyone in your address book is what I'm asking.
Yes, sure. I don't invite you all. Have not received an invitation from me because I do have so many agents in here. I don't want to put you into my sphere and have you do that. But yes, it's a very safe environment. We do not sell leads. We do not make money selling leads. It's your listing, your lead in here. If you invite clients, they're your clients. They see you. So we don't make money. We're not a marketing company. So we do not make, this is a very safe place for you to expand your client base.
So when you invite them, what does it look like on their end?
It has a,
Do you know if they accept it?
we
or
do.
You do see
We
that?
do, and as a matter of fact, it's in a little bit of a transition right now because as Pam can attest, she invited people who were in a pending status for a while. Like I have someone, where is he? Chris Baker. Chris Baker is, I'm going to go by his office today. He's in a pending status with me right this second, which means he has not opened this email to say, yes, I do know her. We're going to change that a little bit, just as a side note. We're mulling that over to just actually invite, when you say, yes, this is my person, we're just going to put them in your sphere and they're going to see your news feed and stuff like that within the app. We're going to assume that they're really yours. You can break a connection with a client and they can break one with you right away if they're engaged in your app. But this is a really easy way to add them. And I didn't cover the agent information.
Now, you know, when I went to invite, it comes
Yes.
up with the existing people and it's all agents, it looks like mostly.
First,
So then how do I invite my people?
scroll down through your list. We're gonna automatically
And your
default
list
to
will be
your
there.
existing HomeSnap users. We're gonna let you know already who in your client book is an existing
Oh, so
HomeSnap.
if they don't have like the picture or whatever, then
That's a
they're
really
not.
good way to show that they haven't
Okay.
set up their account, but they could be. I mean, they could be set up and not have put their picture in. They might have stopped at that, so they
You
might
gotta
show
do
under.
them all one at a time.
You do have to do them one at a time, and there's a reason for that. People are very hesitant to invite all if they have 9,000 contacts in their telephone. So at this point,
Well, when you hit it, it comes back to invite.
right.
I mean, if you hit, if I hit it, it comes back to invite, have they been invited?
Yes, they've been invited.
So if I hit again, does that go twice?
Don't worry about it. They're only gonna get one notification on that.
Okay.
Yeah, and we can tell you if for some reason you have a problem with the invite, if you feel like you invited a lot of people but you're not finding them into your feed, and when I speak about feed, that's down at the bottom in the news feed. This is where I'm talking about.
Is your company gonna create any riders that can go on the listings to get people to go to this application?
You know, I suggested riders, to be honest with you, and my CEO is a little, he has mixed feelings about riders. He doesn't like, he's very visual, he doesn't like all that junk, as he calls it, on someone's sign. So he wants this to be a personal interaction, a tool that you provide your client. So he feels like if the general public can go out and just see it everywhere, it lessens the professional tool feel for you. So this is something special that you're inviting them to, rather than just something generic that they actually can get for free. And we're the top 3, we're within the top 3 real estate apps in Apple. We have a really good relationship with them. We were part of their iOS 7 release. We were the real estate app for their iOS 7 release. So, like, you hadn't updated to iOS 7 yet, and that's why you're encountering that firewall, because we were their preferred real estate partner in that release. So, there is some agent confidential information that you can see. I'll touch on it in the very end, just for those of you who are not going to stay but want this information. We have the last 24 months of history on every single agent. So if you're trying to figure out who you're working with or who you're competing against, all you have to do is either type in their name, or you can do it right from the listing page, and you can find out, again, the contact information, but the deal flow that they've had for the last 24 months. You can analyze where it was. You can see that they do detached townhomes. We can analyze it a little bit further. We can see their average days on the market, what's going on with their listings. There's a lot of information that you can garner from this. For those of you who do any kind of agent recruiting, I'm going to give you an inside tip. You can go into their office or any office, and we have their active agents in an alphabetical order, but that barometer right here, the red and green, lets me know right away who's producing in their office really quickly at a glance. I can see who does business and who doesn't. So if you're recruiting agents or you are a manager and that is part of your job, this is a really easy way to figure out who might be on your target list. And again, you can open any of them and look at it. I have one more little secret that I'm going to share with you, just as a thank you for your time. I don't share this with a lot of agents. It's not this top secret thing, but I don't want you guys fighting against each other, so I don't share this very often. Because we have every home in the United States, we have every home. Not every home is listed or has been listed with an agent, at least for the last 12 months. So, if you're trying to drum up new business, everybody gets quiet and listens to this, right? It's silence in the room. This is secret, actually. You can go and farm an area. There are new agents who are trying to build their business, or there are agents who are really trying to capture a neighborhood. Go into that neighborhood and snap every single home that you can. Take some time to do that, because what will happen when our consumer, our millions of users that visit this site, if they happen to be looking in that neighborhood, you're going to come up in that page on the web, not the app, and it will say, this agent was here, this agent snapped this home, this agent might be familiar with this. There's no conflict for us. We don't sell leads, so this is not a way for us to make money. This is a way to help your business. You're all gonna run out, aren't you? I know what you're doing next. But that's why I don't share it, because I don't want agents fighting about, right, the tour. But it doesn't, again, we don't make money off of that. It's not something we're selling, it's just a hint to you that because our property pages are set up the same way, whether it's